Hi, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Power of Knowing Forum's Knowledge Nexus Talks, where ideas converge. A LinkedIn live event, episode 181. Today, we are discussing on the topic of cybersecurity for everyone, empowering people, protecting lives. To have this topic discussed, we have Shivkant Pawan Kumar, VP ISE 2, Bangalore chapter, cybersecurity thought leader, architect at an MNC. Without further ado, let's welcome our esteemed speaker to the podcast event. Hi, hi Pawan. Hi
Shivkant.
Shivkant. Sorry, hi Shivkant. Welcome to our podcast. A brief intro about yourself, sir, for the audience sake.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Prem, firstly, for having me here and the opportunity to be on this platform to share whatever experience learned in my career. Um, and also, congratulations to you and your team for successfully completing 180 episodes. It's a great journey, and I'm sure so many people have benefited through these sessions, right? So with that, I'm Shivkant, having 2 decades of industry experience as part of network security, cybersecurity, data center management, and so on, and also an active community leader where I contribute in various platforms through knowledge sharing, coaching, mentoring for the university students and some of the mid-career professionals where they reach out through LinkedIn profiles for small tips and suggestions for their career enhancement and growth point of view. So also write certain articles in LinkedIn. Data security is my close to my heart, and some of my learnings I started, writing as a blogs, and some of the user stories, events where I actively engage. I also actively share those articles in LinkedIn. Uh, that's the brief about my mind.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Shivkant, on that. Let's jump into the topic. Now, cybersecurity approach or security forever has been changed very much over the years. What one cybersecurity lesson you've learned the hard way that changed your approach to security forever?
Yeah, I think interesting question, and everyone would have resonate in their career. Uh, for me personally, one of the lessons I learned came from understanding the risk associated with the human error. So we also talk about in cybersecurity, human is the weakest link, right? So one of our user, unintentionally, he clicked the phishing email where the malware injected in an email. So that is basically compromised and lead to sensitive data exposed. So this would have been prevented by giving some training or bringing awareness, right? So this insight actually, shifted my thought processing and brought me the importance, the awareness plays in the organization. So the education awareness programs and training programs for the end user will definitely help to overcome these kind of events or incidents in the future. So that's I would say great lesson. One of my early days I learned, and we
Okay.
always think about process, tools, technologies, but also people also plays a critical role. And in an organization, everyone uh, responsible and their awareness is key to success.
You made a very important point where you said uh, it's not only the organization, it is people that are more important, and we have to give importance to that. Commonly, people in the cybersecurity space think it is very easy. Security is it's not a serious concern that many of the employees take and say it is okay. We right. So that's the approach. What is the common mistake ever experienced professional make when it comes to cybersecurity?
So, I mean, There are plenty. First of all, I would also like to call off a disclaimer here. So, I think previous speakers also would have spoke about it. So, whatever today we are discussing and sharing, it's from my learning and experience point of view, and not anything taking an organization or anything like that as such. So, not to quote anything. That's a disclaimer. It's just a knowledge sharing purpose we are discussing here. Hope that is clear, right? So, yeah. So
Yeah.
coming to your question, the experienced people what commonly do mistakes, right? So one of the even though they are experienced, what I predominantly seen is some people they over rely on the tools, and
Mm.
tools also gives false positives and lead to various incidents and creates you know gap in the system or resource burnout or churnout. The second thing is they might be the controls what they think about limiting to, for example, only going with single antivirus or single firewall, right? Thinking that maximizing the cost, right? But
Mm.
sometimes it may not no sufficient.
Yeah.
uh, and recent CrowdStrike example, one of the things, right, where most of the missions brought down and everybody experienced the almost a day of productivity loss. Uh, and this, I think, everyone would have resonated. The next scenario is every organization has a legacy system because they have to run in that mode because they can't upgrade. Various reasons could be licensing or the tool itself can't be upgraded. So these legacy systems most of the time will be not monitored effectively or not patched or taken serious consideration. So this is the weakest link, I would say. Some of the times, which could lead to serious damage to the organization. So, I mean, these are the
Yeah.
few.
Yeah, there are, as you rightly said, there would be many mistakes that we now. What we've learned over the period and what's happening today on the cybersecurity platform is there's a lot we've learned and lot unlearned also, right? So there's learning and unlearning happening. If you could go back to or give us yourself a small piece of advice, go back and see, look at and about advice about cybersecurity. What could it be?
Great question again. So, yeah, you were saying
If you
something.
are thinking, lot of learning and unlearning has happened now. If to the current realm of cybersecurity, what advice would you give back to yourself, a younger yourself? Okay,
Yeah, got
yeah,
it.
uh, what would be that?
Yeah. So, one of the important reflection I would see that. So, in my in 20 years of experience, right, I was behind most of the time technical skills. How I
Mm,
could enhance my technical skills. Year on year, I used to do some of the challenging certification goals.
mm,
But over a period of time, I realized that technical skills alone not sufficient for you to grow in this field over a period of time once you come to a senior leadership role, right?
mm,
So
mm,
there are skills like communication skills, business acumen, right, and being in a community, talking with people, having networking, right. These skills also plays an essential role or pivotal role for you to shape up as a leader. So I would say that realization came little bit late in my career. If I would have been taught early days or people who is aspirants to
mm,
become leaders in this space, I would suggest them just not limit yourself to technical skills. Yes, of course, you require technical skills, but you also need to complement these some of these skills. That's where you can talk to the senior management. You can better articulate the what risk it is, right, and how the security measures can be, put across, and you also need to get some of the budgets to get approved from the senior management. You need to convince them with your statements. So once acquire some of these business acumen skills, will help you to play some of these leadership roles well. I hope that answers.
Now, important point that you have mentioned here, Shiva. Uh, Most of the time, we only rely on technology skills. That's a technology guy will always want to become a more advanced technical guy rather than a leadership guy. So that's the way technical guys have grown. Is what I've been a technical guy overall last for 27 years now, and still I am happy to go and do a configuration of a server or a laptop or something at times. Yes, I do that. But your point is very valid. How can leaders balance security needs with empathy of employees who may not be tech savvy? Because when we talk about tech only, most of the people who are the ground staff are not technical also at sometimes, right? How do we deal with them?
Very challenging if you think about practicality, because uh, from the technology, I know you're already a CTO, and as you said, you're very keen about technology. For you, it sounds like many statements looks like simple
Hmm.
because you are done and dusted in that, and acquire a lot of skills. But if you talk to a non-techie person, for
Hmm.
him it's like like a math. I mean, people
Okay.
may not appreciate math, right? So for them, it looks like the jargons what you use, right? And those things may look scary, some of the newcomers or existing people also. So
Hmm.
what my thought processing is, make it as simple as possible, and try to avoid jargons, and give them some simplified way of step-by-step guidance,
Hmm.
and show them they should not feel scared, or uh, they should not think that if I don't do that, the blame may come to me, right? uh, I mean, not to advocate that kind of culture into the organization. You should be open and supportive, and it's okay if you do some mistake, that's still fine. We can take that as a lessons learned, and from there move on, but not to repeat the same mistake. For that, whatever possible education you can offer, you can do that. So that's how I look at it.
Okay. Good points there. Uh, at making cybersecurity default or for everybody in the organization, most of the people, as we started the conversation, take security very lightly, right? So, how and what is your strategy for making cybersecurity training engaging and reliable for everyone in it, on the team?
Yeah. uh, this is again critical, because some of the people may not take it as serious as people who is having really passionate and interested uh, by heart. Because cybersecurity is, or not only cybersecurity, any technology, right? People should have that interest and passion inside. Otherwise, organization do for a compliance point of view, and people do it for a sake. But
Hmm.
don't look at cybersecurity only from the organization point of view. That's where our team also, right? It
Hmm.
helps you from your day-to-day life, and because everywhere today, uh, everything is digitalized. Cybersecurity nothing but how you prevent any crime or scam which involves a digital medium, right? It could be computer, mobile, or internet, whatever medium could be, right? So this training, if you make it, the key, I would say that the personalization, if you bring the personalization element to the training, right? Of course, gamification is changing, is a game changer, right? So anything you make it intuitive, like simulated way, and you developed no training content, some puzzles, and some sort of quiz. more interactive than just like a generic way of lecture, right?
Mm.
These are the some of the tactics you can apply and induce into your curriculum, and also reward them and celebrate their wins and giving some goodies, right, to promote the awareness and culture. I think these are the some of the ingredients. I hope it helps, because when you bring this personalization and the social elements, how they can secure their personal bank accounts, or some of this social networking related, like it could be uh, various deepfake and lots more, it directly impacting either their own brand or their own income or various parameters, right? So if you can keep highlighting these from the training education point of view, and make it more interactive rather than just giving at a high level lecture. I think that those ingredients should help.
Yeah, that helps in making the team. When there's a reward attached to a training, I think there is always a catch that people will pick up. I think with a recognition or a reward or a
Correct.
certificate, that helps. Now, most, as you pointed out, one more point here is, people use mobiles for most of the data today, right? And
Correct.
mobile data and mobile security is not that strongly enabled at the moment with what we see in the organizations per se. But how can organization foster a culture of security without creating a paranoia? Because when I attach my device to the MDM or anything on the this one, they have that fear that my data, personal data, also is getting tracked by the organization. So that kind of a paranoia is always there with. How do we look at fostering a culture of security without creating a fear?
Yeah. So instead of inducing a fear, you make it as an empowerment to the end user, right? This
Hmm.
not for uh, the, whatever policy you're bringing. It's not to threat or scare any end user. These are the policies you're bringing in for an empowerment point of view. So basically, you give a positive vibes than giving a
Negative.
negative, impression.
Yeah.
And also they should feel that it is a win-win situation for them as well as the organization, right? So during this process or policy or whatever you are asking them to follow, it is not only helping organization, it is also helping them as an individual, so that it is overall he is getting empowered than getting into a scary situation. I think with that communication, it should help for both the
Yeah, great
people.
point. Now, what's a non-traditional industry trend that cybersecurity leaders should be watching out right now?
Um, I think the biggest keyword I keep hearing is sustainability these days,
Okay.
right? So that reducing the how we can minimize the carbon footprint and contribute to the net zero is a
Hmm.
goal every organization also picked up, and at a uh, countrywide also every country also contributing towards to that.
Okay.
Now the integration of cybersecurity and sustainability, which is ideally leading to many of these IoT devices, because be
Hmm.
it the renewable energy or green energy grids and
Hmm.
smart homes, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So if you look at all these underlying equipment, what we are using is IoT based sensors, right?
Yeah.
So these enhancements or technology, enhancement, this IoT is bringing a new layer of threat landscape, basically, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So if you don't equip with the good security framework to protect this layer, then we are at a bigger stage. So my point is, whenever these kind of newer initiatives comes and newer equipments or components involved, and
Hmm.
they are not part of your effective threat landscape or framework, that eventually get you a cybersecurity gap. So as a cybersecurity leader, you have to keep evolving because cybersecurity keep evolving, and you also need to include all these parameters and have a holistic approach to secure the environmental by integrating both.
Yeah. Okay. See, again, we'll come back to how the training and other pointers are happening. Now, cybersecurity, again, loosely taken, least neglected way of looking at the Gen Z people are that too much nowadays. It is always some or the other reel or some of the other video or something that is happening, and they don't want to listen to you or give the phone to you back. That's a common problem that we are facing now. With this kind of mindset, if you have to explain cybersecurity to them, maybe a 10-year-old, what analogy would you use?
Yeah, my daughter also at 10 years old. uh,
So we have a real time example here, right? So
so
let's hear it out from you.
yeah, so it's quite tricky. So I'm just thinking, oh, what can be okay. Let's see. You have a home, right? So home has many doors. Probably we consider the main door and many windows. So if
Hmm.
you compare that to analogy to cybersecurity, locking every opportunity to the intruder to getting inside the home, right?
Hmm.
We lock all of the doors, uh,
Hmm.
and we also put a CCTV camera for a surveillance purpose, right? And on top of it, if still some of these bad guys are sneaking in, you also have watchdog, which will give you an alarm to ensure that you are in a safe and secure zone, right? So keeping bad guys away or out at the
Hmm.
same time, you are in you enjoy your personal space, in a secure way. I hope that answers.
Yeah, that answers where you are saying we'll have to tell them about what are the pointers that could be looked at and how it can be sniffed up and stuff like that. So I take that point. What's some unconventional source of inspiration for building better cybersecurity practices? Because when you talk about practices, people say I'm not used to it, or the standardization I'm not going to follow it, right? So what is an unconventional source of inspiration for building better cybersecurity practices that you would like to do or implement?
So nature is a ultimate inspiration, if you look at.
Okay.
So most of the then we would have seen the how the ant build their hills, and we can learn a lot of things from the ants. Many people used to say because
Yeah.
uh, they have scouts, they have workers, they have soldiers, they have different segmented teams. Basically, takes a particular activity and help the entire ecosystem to build their own requirements. So everybody says that for the teamwork, we always refer to the ants life cycle kind of thing. So this I want to give the same analogy from the cybersecurity point of view. You should have a defense in depth, so you should have a different uh, layered approach, and every layer as an independent, and the expertise basically lies. And you should have this entire ecosystem as a which a like a chain in the organization to work and hand in hand, be it from the physical security, your administrative controls, and your process controls, then technology related controls, what you put. So everything should, physical security, everything should work hand in hand. So ideally, that should give a strong security to the organization.
Okay.
Basically, defense in depth is what my formula
Okay. Okay.
question.
What is the biggest challenge organizations are facing aligning to cybersecurity with business goals? Because cybersecurity says something, business goals have something. How do we align them?
See, security is basically looked at as a cost center. Basically, they don't
Yeah,
see
true.
as a value addition unless a compromise happens or something like that, right? Similarly, insurance also, if you look at, people don't, yeah, no, think the importance of insurance unless before pandemic they would nobody would have thought about, right?
No,
So
insurance, to take what you said, was very, very important because insurance was never a culture with us in India, at least. So
correct. So
people,
I want to give the same analogy for the security also.
okay.
So if you look at cybersecurity, the way it picked up after pandemic, right? He's
Hmm.
significant, right?
Yeah.
Could be various reasons because the digital economy or mode of digital payments are significantly increased only after pandemic, even though it is exist before pandemic, but it didn't adopted so much, but various reasons. So after pandemic, we don't left with more chances, and also this not to touch and other various criterias, no, and people working from home, most of these mediums, internet work from home, and various programs become, even schools started conducting lessons from, through these mediums. So basically digital media is picked up significantly, right?
Hmm.
So my point is coming back to that insurance and cybersecurity. uh, you don't look at just a cost center. Tell that, no, have a business use case where if this would have compromised related to a customer, revenue impact or a brand. So that you project this as a business enabler than just a security solution. So if you have that formula in place and have a right use case, and put it in a table saying that by, investing in this security solution, I could, prevent or save so much of customer uh, infrastructure or their brand or value, and that's how I think you need to project it, is what my point.
What is
So don't
one?
look at, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, sorry.
No. Yeah. Uh, that's very important. Now, what is one cyber security trend in 2024 that leaders cannot afford to ignore, or we are the fag end of the year now talking about ignoring is little reasonable, but what could be the one thing that we cannot ignore at the moment, right?
Correct. So, as we discussed in the previous question, so now these days the cloud adoption is increased significantly.
Hmm.
Point. The second is uh, cloud is basically could be various factors. It could be cost, and not human intensive. You have agile, fast to
Hmm.
provision. So people are, leveraging cloud resources significantly than before. Uh, that's
Hmm.
one trend. The second is working from home is still, people significantly, set of people are still working from home, various reasons, and companies also still supporting, right?
Yeah.
So keeping these 2 points, uh, sorry, could you please repeat that question?
Now, what
Ah, what is the,
security trends we could
yeah,
not ignore or afford to ignore?
correct. So these two traditional securities, like, perimeter, is not supporting enough the cloud adoption and work from home.
Hmm.
So we are talking about zero trust, right? So that is something playing a significant role in the current trend. I think every organization look at that adoption of the zero trust, because the term itself says that trust none. So you don't trust anybody by default, and it has to be vetted through your prove your authenticity and authentic and identity then what level of access or resources you are, entitled. Only those are will get granted. Basically, default trust none. So this is the important trend every organization is adopting in current era, which I could think about.
Okay. Uh, See, everybody, we are talking about AI everywhere, all over the world, because AI is one buzzword that is going on in every field, every dimension. Even you talk, you want a video or a image to be generated, is AI generated. Now, how is AI disrupting cybersecurity, and are the teams prepared for it?
I think it's a great question, but I would see in a other way around. So, of course, whichever medium you look at, there is plus and positive, also negative, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So instead of disrupting, we could think about how it is helping cybersecurity also. Of
Okay.
course, we have advisories. I mean, these attackers or bad actors, what we say, they are using a to inject latest malwares or no, making phishing attacks more sophisticated uh, and using for bad purpose. But at the same time, from the defense point of view, right? If you leverage the same AI, we can also leverage for the faster detection, and it also helps you to the look at the forecast and preventive threat analysis. We use it for AI by historical data and so on. So it's all how you could consume at a
Mm.
at purpose. What purpose we are using, how we are leveraging, how what is that importance, where it is used. So my point is we should not leave behind AI. We still need to get that skill and equip with AI skills, but use ethically. So we say ethical practices with AI, whatever you use it for a good purpose, not for a bad side of it.
One example or a simple action individuals can take every day to improve their cybersecurity pointers. Any insights on it?
Simple things. Think we can have multi-factor authentication because these multi-factor authentication, most of the apps are providing, but we don't put
Use them.
an effort to enable it, because when you talk about security, it comes with the add-on effort. It will reduce your comfort levels.
Yeah.
So, right.
Anything which is blocking me to access faster is a blocker for me. And
So
I
it
don't
basically it brings one more layer
there.
as a protection layer. So either you unlock or lock it. It needs an additional effort, right? So people don't take it for the discomfort, but you need to look at it what level of protection it is bringing in. So
Mm.
multi-factor is like one more second layer of locking system, which will prevent unauthorized people accessing. So we've been hearing many frauds in the Aadhaar space,
Yeah.
right? So Aadhaar has a biometric credentials where everyone would have given, but there is an option where you can lock your biometrics. You can get into the same Aadhaar portal, and this probably would help many people if they're not aware of some of the audience point of view. You can go log into your Aadhaar portal. It it basically how you download your Aadhaar. Similar process. You need to give your OTP where you mobile registered Aadhaar, and once you log into their database, you have an option to check. I mean, block my biometric, so that whenever somebody trying to take your biometric to authenticate, they can't do it unless you unlock it. Uh,
Mm.
this significantly helps some of these people which they are unaware of, some of these uneducated people or parents, aged people, and all right. So it's
Yeah.
good to block them, only enable them when it is necessary. So multi-factor authentication should significantly help them, but simple things simple to ignore also.
Yeah.
So take it. Uh, with caution.
How can mid-level managers empower their teams to think about cybersecurity in whatever they do as a daily habit?
You need to lead with example, right? Right.
First, you will
So
have to do it so that others can follow you, right? So
correct.
that's the point,
Yes. I mean, that's true. And either you can keep giving some security tips,
right?
bring that security culture into the team, and share some of these uh, industry insights or what is happening outside and the importance. And if somebody is following and uh, showing that interest, support them, recognize them, award them, right? By and when he really he living with that examples and bring that culture, and obviously people also will follow default. Basically, as a leader, he has to live with that example and support
Yeah.
the team.
What is one? What's your moonshot idea for making cybersecurity accessible for everyone?
So if the opportunity comes, I envision have one universal curriculum uh,
Hmm. Okay.
for
To
all,
start with, yeah.
to start with. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
cybersecurity introduce that curriculum at early age itself in all the
Hmm.
schools.
Hmm.
So because as you rightly mentioned, today every kid using mobile phones and some of the things which they operate even I don't know. I use only for the messaging, WhatsApp messages and
Hmm.
call. Beyond that, I don't use my phone other than
Okay.
some of the payments. But these days, kids are more explorative, and unlike our childhood, we don't have these kind of gadgets, and either not exist, or even if it is there also, we are controlled by parents what to do,
Hmm.
what not to do. But today that's not the scenario, right? So one is, it brings that awareness at a very young age, this curriculum, if you introduce it. And I wanted to have that universally available for all mediums and places, so that they can how they are consuming online will be much more responsible. Now they understand what is importance, what is their privacy, right? And some of the best practices when they are exposed to some of these digital platforms. So that once they get this awareness, some of these scams and getting these child's, many child instances we've been hearing. So some of those uh, incidents we could significantly minimize. Uh, Unlike Western countries, the kind of awareness and protection, right, or people voice out is very minimum in Indian context, right? Uh, One way we could protect is bringing this awareness. I'm a big fan of education and awareness,
Hmm.
and I've been supporting many forums on that frame wherever possible with my
A good
capacity.
valid point, because if we make it part as a default, like what we do it in school, that you will have to play kind of something. Now, if you can make cybersecurity a team sport, what position would you like to play and why?
Great question again. Uh, I think uh, I would prefer to be a goalkeeper
Hmm.
because you're the last line of defense,
Okay.
and he knows threat landscape as a goalie, and he also keep communicating with his team.
Hmm.
And worst case, he needs to protect, or if threat exploit, he could be savior to quickly address and arrest it. So uh, to become an active goalkeeper, you need technical skills, and that is how you uh, mm, prevent from the opponent, and also a strategic thinking, how you need to align. I mean, that it's a team sport again, as you said, right? So basically, you need a blend of both technical and a strategic skill set, which would ideally for any cybersecurity leader also required in my part. So I would pick that
Yeah.
as.
Great, great. I think what we have come is to the end of that was our last question. I have some audience questions that are there, Shiva. We'll take up them now. I
Sure.
have Ravi Ramalingam. I think he says, "Welcome, Shiva," and
Hey,
then
thanks, Ravi.
yeah, and so Ravi has another question here. Considering the latest cybersecurity threats and attacks, any insights of how non-technical people become can be avoided to become victims? That's one question that he has.
So minimalization is the word good. So if you don't know something, don't act, right? Especially these uh, unknown calls, don't answer,
Hmm.
right? And these days, those scams are become very high.
Yeah,
And second, if you don't know any links, you don't click them.
click them.
And if they're asking OTPs, don't share them. And unless you revalidate, no, don't come to a decision and share some of your sensitive information, be
Yeah,
it in calls or anywhere, right? And basically, you have to minimize the scope of see, all these are very lucrative offers they'll give. So nothing comes free in this world, right?
yeah,
So if you're aware of that, many scams we can, because people will play most of the time with our emotions, right? And just you need to keep in mind, something somebody offering free means there is something behind, a bigger value you're giving back to them. So I think I want to leave with that, and always consult people who are educated, and ask help. I think that's where you should be able to overcome this. Ravi, hope I answered your question.
and Ravi has another question for it. What are the latest advancements in cybersecurity that enhance public safety and protect lives?
Uh, Public safety and protect lives.
Don't connect to unknown networks is one thing I can think of, right?
Correct.
That's that's one thing. Second is to add to Shivkant's pointers is that one, we don't connect to any Wi-Fi spots. Public network is one. There will be something which you say scan this and you'll get something. So that's a bigger scam, actually speaking. So these scans have been off late been very very scary, and we've lost people. People lost money on those things, is what I understand. Life threats is again you reach to what OTPs and other stuff. What Shiva told was, don't share unnecessary. Somebody calling and asking for a OTP, somebody calling and telling me there's an incident happened. Can you send some money? Those are some of the incidents I think you should look at. And if they are referring somebody as your close relative or close friend that you know, and I think they have scanning your social profiles, I think that's where you should be cautious. You cut the call and tell, I'll check, I'll call you back, I'm driving or something like that, and you call back the person's name that they have mentioned and check out. That's one thing that we can look at public safety. Ravi, Shiva, you have any other thoughts on
Yeah,
how?
I just want to add a few more. See, you need to consume this social network, very responsibly.
Yeah,
Some of these things, right? Because these days, whatever they're posting, various forums, if it is illegal, even you promote that you like it, you share with friend, also consider as a contributing to that
yeah,
propaganda. So you should be aware of that and should be careful enough. Second, there are how the police stations are available for the various other civic and crimes. There are
cyber sense.
cyber cells also available. So government is promoting them. I think from the public safety and protecting life. Like, see, I would say this protecting lives and public safeties. It could be various other, this ransomware could be, and people losing money in their digital wallets. Some of these scandals, blackmailing. So many of these things people may voice out or may not voice out, but cyber cells is the appropriate place. Government is supporting in a big way. Only thing is you need to go and report them. and I'm sure they are doing a great support from the
I think
safety.
I think you made a very important what the analysis says about cyber cells is about 80% of the crimes are not reported, right? So that's a bigger challenge that we are having.
And they're
Cyber,
really helping. I mean,
yeah, the
they're
cyber
really
cell
doing a good
is
job.
much enhanced now. I think the government has put a lot of controls on the cyber security side. Earlier, to be specific, we had a lot of calls on the banking fraud. My money is gone on OTP and stuff like that. That I don't hear as much as now. Earlier, to one particular bank, at least in specific. So that's
Because
something that I think has been changed.
so there are communities also supporting the cyber
Yeah,
cells as a volunteers. So there
yeah,
are technology people also supporting significantly from the government. So there is a combination of government and the task force and some of these volunteers is really doing a great work in order to help these victims. So it's a reliable source, but very you need to voice out and need to
yeah.
seek the help from these point of views.
Yeah. Hope we've answered your query, Ravi.
Ravi,
We have Pallavi, who was our one of our. Hi Pallavi, she was one of the speaker in one of our events, and I think
hi
thank you for
Pallavi.
joining, Pallavi. I'd like to know what are the essential cybersecurity commoner must be aware of. Thanks.
Tips common must be aware of. Um, I think we have discussed enough in this
Yeah,
call, right?
this is what
So,
we were discussing, Pallavi. It is more
so
of
have your passwords, secure passwords,
strong
update
passwords.
strong passwords. That is, we say alphanumeric and special characters. If possible, have a passphrases, which
Hmm.
basically can't be uh,
Guessed.
broken easily into some of these tools, rainbow attack or dictionary attacks. Uh, passphrases like I'm a strong security professional. So that kind of password, if you put it, that easy to remember and hard to break it. So passphrases are more powerful these days from the secure passwords point of view. Second, patch your systems up to date because many known or unknown vulnerabilities get exploited when you don't patch them on time. Okay, this is another very neglected or people may not take it serious or many uh, bigger uh, threats exposed because of these non-patching standards, right? Have multi-factor authentication wherever possible because it brings the one more layer of security and keep uh, getting your skills enhanced or keep consulting people with something which you don't know. Take advice from the people who is good at it. I think by following some of these good practices, I hope it should help you.
She has another question, follow-up question. Could you share a job option available after doing specialization? What could be the
Uh, what specialization? Because we have plenty of
yeah.
sub verticals. You have, if you are more hands-on person, you can go with the pen testing as a beginner, penetration tester. We also say an ethical hacker. That's where you can start. For that, some of the scripting, if you're good at scripting, it is a great platform for you to start. And once you work on, you also have a business analyst where some of these logs and predictive analysis and threat landscape validations. So the business analyst, cybersecurity business analyst you have, then as and when you grow and earn some of these certificate and credentials, you have GRC, governance, risk, and compliance, and junior level, mid level, senior level managers. It offers the opportunities, and you have an audit,
Hmm.
basically internal, external audits. So there is a separate skill set which required for you to perform audits because various compliance at privacy front, data front, and healthcare point of view, right? Regulation point of view. There are plenty. You name it, you have an opportunity. Only thing is, what is your interest? It's not that somebody lucrative, somebody is getting some high pay job. Don't target that because it also has a similar effort and a lot of stress in these uh, jobs. So choose wisely. When you have that passion and interest, stress in the sense, you don't feel that basically, right? When you like it, the whatever additional hours you are spending, you need to keep, every day I need to study something other. So if you are person that kind of interest, then only this field is good. Otherwise, it's not just, don't look at only the greenery
No,
side,
I
I
think
would say.
your point is very valid because cybersecurity specialization keeps evolving, and most of the topics that we talk about may not be available tomorrow because based on what is that is happening, some can get automated, some can be merged to something else which is similar to and stuff like that. So choose your paths. Now looking at what Shiva said was pen testing is one thing, then you have vulnerability assessments. Those
Correct. Yeah.
assessment things are very very important because cloud is prone to security. Earlier we did not have that kind of outrage use of public internet so much. We had DMZs, most of them were confined to one office or one organization. Now it's not the case. So we are connected to the global network. We have everywhere the network is opening, and somebody will look at sniffing out some data out. So that's one thing that you can look at. You can look at encryption, you can look at access, identity and access management. So that is one thing that you can look at. A lot of things, but you will, as Shiva rightly said, you will have to look at what is that you want to take as a path, right? So with that, I think I have one point from Pooja who says, what is that? I am from the IT department of cybersecurity. Tell me the cybersecurity job paths. So that's what we've been discussing right now, Pooja. So paths are different. You want to look at going on business analytics, business study on analytics is again most of the study piece that you can do. You can do research.
Ask if you have any specific question on a specific theme or
Yeah,
vertical, so that would help us to
yeah.
uh, give some more advice.
So one LinkedIn user is not put his name. How does AI driven cybersecurity? How do you see?
Yeah, I think we also discussed, right? AI is a enabler, I would say, because the capabilities what AI is bringing, it could significantly minimize the human effort. Like, in an organization, you have tons of equipment devices, and every device generates a huge number of logs, right? So if normal people want to analyze those logs and find the what is exact issue, it takes days. And when incident occurs also, the detection itself is significantly taking very more days. And if you look at old statistics, some of the incident occurs only discovered only after 180 days,
Yeah.
190 days, right? By then the damage would have occurred. But the recent days when AI enhancements and good part of AI, it could analyze tons of logs and bring to handful of analytics. It brings the analytics and gives you handful of events where you could decide and take a corrective decision and fix the issue then and there. Some of these tools also have a self heal. We bring them. If correction can be done in the system itself, in even human intervention is not required, and it saves time, effort. And where this human effort saved, you could use it for somewhere, some of the innovation and some of your productive space you can deploy those services. So that's how AI is shaping up, but we should use it ethically. So we always emphasize that. All ethical practitioners here, we always say that we should use it responsibly, ethically.
Now, to add to what Shiva was saying was that AI has brought in incident management automation. That is one thing that it is learning by itself. It is
Correct.
seeing what basic things can be checked and tested pre and post. If that is implemented, it creates a test setup, tries to bring up environment, test it, then gets it deployed. Those are a lot of features, amazing features that AI has
Correct.
been brought up in the cybersecurity. Threat management, incident management have been far been taken care with the kind of data that we have. If the organization has a data, it fetches those data, creates a knowledge base for itself, and helps us resolve a lot of things. So which as Shiva rightly said, is 180 days after we see the issue is already having an effect on the environment. So that's where AI is playing a great role. Now, rightly what he said is think ethical and do things on ethical front on the AI side. There are, see, I think what Shiva's point I would like to add is threats are becoming intelligence, so as the hackers. So you will have to look at both sides. The AI tools for the hackers also are getting advanced. The threats also are getting advanced. So it's a balance. Again, some
Right.
things have to be unlearned, something has to be learned. So that's a journey. So it is not going to be one day task. So AI can change a lot of things. That's how things happen. So great pointers there. With this, I think we have a last question which came to from Pallavi. She says, great, grateful for your help. I'm sure you're going reconductive measures specifically in drive phases. Okay, great, Pallavi. Thanks for that. And with this, I think we have come to the conclusion of today's podcast. And Shiva, it's been a great honor to have you on the show. Though keeping your busy schedule, you have taken time out and had a time. And it was a very quick thing. We got Shiva's time only a day or two early. So it's a last minute adjustment what Shiva has done to join this session. Shiva, thank you for being part of it. For the audience, we have this streamed live from YouTube, from LinkedIn to YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and other platforms. We hope this discussion has valuable inputs for you, and thanks for joining us. Our next
Yeah.
episode is going to be tomorrow, which is profitable pivot. How to reinvent business challenge in challenging times. So that's the topic at 6:30 p.m. IST. Looking forward to see you again. Shiva, anything that you want to stay as a closing statement before we
Yeah.
conclude?
Yeah, pleasure to hear, Prem, and thanks for the opportunity. And thank you so much for all the viewers and their support. And I wish to grow all their support, coming days also. And I want to grow from this podcast also significantly, 500,000 series. I wish you all the best, the entire team and crew.
Yeah,
It takes a lot of your personal time and passion. I'm sure that the things which you are investing, without passion, it won't possible when you're working with a full-time job.
yeah.
Uh, I respect and admire for that. Thanks once again for the entire
Thank
team.
you. Thank you
Thank you.
for that, Shiva. That's nice about you. Thank you. Good day and bye for now, Shiva.
Thank you.